Hello guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Elizabeth Oko, you can call me Liz. So today's episode is going to be the first in a series which is going to be sharing with you how I moved from a hobbyist photographer to a professional.
Yes sir.
So my journey actually started when I was a teenager. I think I must have been 13 or 14 years old. I was sort of cleaning the house and I moved on to my uncle's bedroom. And I guess, I don't know what I was looking for, to be honest. I was just going under the bed and I found like an old camera. I brought it out, sort of put in batteries. I saw it was still sort of working. I ran off to like the local photographer we had at the time. So I grew up in Lagos. I got some films from him, put the films in, and it was working and I was like, perfect. For some reason, I'd always been sort of really interested in photography. I think this comes from the passion of me always sort of loving things about fashion and design. And I remember when I think back, I used to wake up early in the morning when other people were still asleep and I'll put on the fashion channel. I love looking at the clothes on the runway, but I think the more I watched that, I started getting really interested in modeling as well. So I always had this sort of like dream of, oh, it would be nice to be a model, but obviously I wasn't tall enough. And I mean, the beauty standards and I guess modeling industry has changed a bit in 2020, but as sort of the early 2000s when I was growing up, you had to be like a particular height, particular size, clear skin, all of that, which I didn't have any. So I knew I wouldn't be a professional model, but I sort of love that. So I think the sort of idea of me loving photography started actually from the idea of me loving modeling and wanting to model because I loved fashion. I kept on watching different fashion related shows, and when American Next Top Model came, that even sort of inspired me more and sort of just made me more passionate about it. And it was this little secret of mine wanting to be a model, which of course I knew wasn't gonna happen, but I sort of would always learn the poses, start with like smiles, trying to like model from my feet to my to my head, and doing all the poses like So yeah, anyway, when I found that camera at home, I thought it was an opportunity for me to just play around and stuff like that. So I would tell friends, oh, I'll take pictures of you and then you take of me as well. So that was sort of my little secret. Anyway, as time went on, it wasn't just about me posing in front of the camera. I really did enjoy capturing moments with friends. I remember the last few days of secondary school, I took the camera to school, took pictures of I and my friends in our classes. We had like our last dinner, I guess, which is like a prom here in the West. I took pictures as well. In church, I would take pictures. Sorry, I don't know. I tear up really easily, and for some reason I'm tearing up now again. So it just sort of continued that way of me just being really fascinated about photography. And if you think about like a teenager in those days, I'll be giving my pocket money, which was supposed to be for my transport back and forth from school, and lunch money, but I would save part of that just to be able to buy films, just to be able to like pay to get them developed and stuff like that. So that could sort of really tell you I was definitely really interested in photography and didn't mind investing in it, because my other friends would probably use it to buy snacks and things like that, or I don't know what else they would use it for, but no one was sort of investing in a hobby the way I was. But I didn't mind. I sort of loved it. I'll buy new films, I'll pay to get it developed, and so I was just fascinated and wondering like, wow, it must be really complicated to get these films made into the pictures. And I guess with today's digital technology, it makes that process even much more easier. But I never thought I would become a photographer. I guess in my way, I was just documenting things, which I guess you could say I was a documentary photographer, but nothing professional, just something I did for fun. And I carried on this hobby of always having a camera with me up to when I moved to London, when I went to college for my A-levels. Again, during the last few days of A-levels, I took my camera to school, took pictures of I and my friends. Same happened in uni, took my camera to uni, was taking pictures of I and friends when we would go out on night out, when we would go out for dinners and stuff like that. I think for me it was really a way to just preserve memories. It was definitely that much for me. Yeah, so that's sort of like my really early days in photography and in what it meant to me at the time. I have like lots of pictures now, lots of albums, and because it's sort of synced to my Google Photos in the clouds, I do get yearly reminders like, look at what you did 8 years ago, look at what you did 10 years ago. It's amazing. I love getting those updates and just, you know, really remembering, because that's what photography really meant to me so much about, you know, I was always thinking, when I'm like 80 or 90 years old, and I look back on these pictures, it would be what a fantastic memory there will be. So that's sort of what really pushed me to like keep up with photography. But then during my 3rd year of university, I started a blog, I started blogging, and I quickly realized that I couldn't just take pictures from the internet to put on the cover of my blog. I did need copyrights, permissions and stuff, and that was just gonna be a long process, you know, searching for a pictures, trying to get permission from the owner. They may say yes, they may say no. So I was just like, you know what, I want to do this easily. I want to make it a bit more professional. So I got my first DSLR camera. Before then, I'd always used like really low grade cameras. In those days it was alright. It would cost me like £100 was the most I'd paid for a camera, but I decided to get a DSLR camera, and I was like, my maximum budget is 300. That was a lot of money for me at the time. Now you can imagine one lens can cost as much as close to 1,000, but then 300 was like the most I could spend on the camera. So I asked a friend who was into photography, like, oh, I'd like to get a camera, do recommend something, and he recommended I get the Nikon D3500. So that was my first entry-level DSLR camera. So I started using that to take pictures of like travel photography. So I used to travel a lot, travel with friends, travel with family. So I would take pictures while away on holiday of like just, you know, capturing the moments with the people I was with, capturing the landscape as well. And then yeah, that was sort of most of the photography I did those early days, just, you know, to have really beautiful pictures to use on my blog. So that sort of really continued until about 2007. At this time Instagram was, you know, massive, and I was just getting so much more inspired by other creative people I was seeing. At this time I'd started writing my novel as well, so I knew there was this push and this development within myself where photography just wasn't more about documenting, but I really wanted to do something about it. I really wanted to use it as a tool to tell stories, because what I had realized is that I was writing this novel for a number of months, and the whole process of being published would just take years and take much longer. But with photography, I could, you know, come up with a concept and an idea, bring a team together, do the photo shoots, and bang, you know, I have my projects done, which isn't the case with writing. So I had that really pull to move into that direction, to tell stories with my art. And I knew it was time for me to become professional. It was time to move away from the auto functions on the camera to really learning the manual, really learning how to edit in the post-production process. And I sort of was excited, and yeah, I decided I would start doing that in 2017. So I'm sort of trying to talk really fast because I don't want this video to be long. So if you are ever wondering, how did Elizabeth get into photography? How did she start? How did she become a professional? This is sort of a summary of my story. Getting a camera from when I was 14 to just playing around with it, and getting to a stage where I was really pushed and really inspired by other artists around me, and I wanted to tell my story with this art form. I hope this has helped shed some light on my early days, my journey with you, and next episode I'll be sharing much more about the process. I'll be also giving you tips and stuff if you want to learn as well. And yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Do subscribe to my channel, do comment, do like if you like it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Yes sir. What's up?